Okay, is everyone ready?
Okay.
That's, oh, sorry, church meeting. We'll talk about that.
Good evening. I'd like to call a special Board of Trustees meeting to order on Tuesday, October 24th at approximately 6 p.m. In order for everyone to hear our enlightened discussions, of course, could you please silence or turn off your cell phones or any other noisemakers that you may have? Would you please join me in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance?
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Leno,
Here.
Duffy,
Here.
Baker,
Here.
Adamco.
Here.
Bell. Here. Enquist. Here. And Turtle.
Here.
Approval of the agenda as published.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. There are no minutes. Comments and correspondence. Does anybody in the audience care to make a comment about a non-agenda item? Going once, going twice. Soapbox. Correspondence.
None, sir.
None noted. Anybody want to add any correspondence? New Village Board business items. Discussion regarding the 2018 village budget. Consider a motion to approve and adopt Resolution 364-102417 and Resolution 365-102417 regarding the 2018 budget. So one of those is the budget, one of those is the CIP. No, the fire.
One of those is the budget,
Fire
one of
board.
those is a fire
Fire board.
department
Right.
thing. We had the public hearing last week at the October 17th meeting. There were some changes made to the budget at that meeting. The budget was amended to reflect an additional 0.8% increase in health insurance premiums and a change in dental insurance premiums to reflect a 0% increase. The marina budget was amended to reflect a line item for shadow donations. And we amended the budget to create a special revenue fund for Marina Fest. We reflected a $20,000 loan from the Marina to the Marina Fest Fund for working capital, and a $2,000 annual contribution from the Marina Fund to the Marina Fest Fund. This did not change the tax revenues included in the budget. Those tax revenues put our mill rate at $569.54, which is a 3% increase in the mill rate. No change from last week.
Questions?
Yes. Do you have a question?
Oh, no, I'm saying, are there any questions
I was just-
from staff?
So
Or
there
of
were a
staff?
few places in here, and I think we might have touched on this last week, where it, rather than showing a dollar amount, it says console.
Consolidated.
Okay,
We
just-
consolidated some accounts just for
Okay.
ease in the
Reporting.
admin area, especially in regarding to permits and fees.
Yep. So just on that one, what would happen is, under our last auditor, Mike Konechky and Juliana, they really liked to make sure the peas didn't touch the corn, so to speak. And so we'd have very small dollar amounts for permits, like one single $400 text amendment request that would come in. And so now we had to maintain this budgetary line item. I asked Tasha to roll all of them into one. Ultimately, because we're looking at permits, if we have a busy year, active year, makes sense, then we can just see it right in one line item instead of having to add them all up.
And I rolled them, I consolidated them as much as I could. They're still separated per, the state financial forms, so.
Okay. In order, before we do the budget, do we need to do the fire board?
You can, sir.
I'll explain the fire board resolution because it's new this year. As part of our levy limit worksheet, every year, and this goes back for a number of years at least, we include on our levy limit worksheet the change in the fire department, the shared budget, our portion of it. This year, in order to include that change, we have to have a special resolution and a resolution we have to include from the town of Liberty Grove, and likewise Liberty Grove has to include one from us, that allows us to include that increase. And that it agrees with state statute and all of that stuff. So it's kind of an odd resolution, but it falls right within the budget. There's really nothing separate that you're approving other than the resolution itself.
Tasha, there is one item outstanding that I do not see in the packet, and I might just be looking in the wrong place, and that is the budget policies that we put in place beginning in 2016 and subsequent ones this year. Am I looking in the wrong spot?
And I included this week.
I think they got dropped off this. They were in the
They
last
got
one, then they
dropped
got
off
dropped
this
off
week.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so ultimately, we'll need to bring those back to a subsequent meeting. They don't require public hearing, provided the budget is adopted. So effectively, it's everything that you all adopted in 2016, and the, I think it was one amendment with regard to the utilities, and before a utilities employee would be hired full-time, that item would be discussed with the utilities committee, the associated equipment, all that other stuff that goes along with it. That's the one that stands out in my mind. Is there anything else, Tasha, that was
There were several new policies. New policies this year. I'm sorry, my internet access is super slow.
Yeah.
One was the utility discussion that Zeke just alluded to. Second was TID policy, saying that when the TID produces positive cash, positive fund balance, the finance director, in consultation with the auditors, is authorized to pay back the CIP fund, and then the general fund, and then the utility fund, and then the marina fund. At least the amounts that are owed from the TIF back. So that's an important one. There was another one.
The ice rink,
No.
was that a report item? Yeah, you're right, it's not a policy, it's a report item. I'm just running
Okay,
through my
so
head.
we had those in our packet last week.
Yes,
Yep.
They're not in the packet this week.
Right.
So you have to bring them back at the next meeting?
yes.
Even though there's no change from last week.
Yeah, you still have to bring them back and have the board formally adopt them. So effectively, what'll happen is they will need to adopt the resolution tonight and then amend that resolution at the next board meeting.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions of Tasha or of Zeke concerning the budget?
Just a general question, something that I guess I didn't see multiple other times that I read the budget. On page 9, where it talks about other revenue, and it has building rental fire station, is that really all that we incur? Because that place is so busy, it seems like it's always being rented out, and $650 is it?
That's about it.
So if you recall, many of those groups pay, I think it's a $5 rental on a one-time basis, and then Janelle, my memory is that we had a conversation at the Parks Committee level, subsequently authorized by the board, for the long-term renters to have a special negotiated rate like Susie's Knits and the other,
Yeah, it's
I think it was like
just minimal.
$25 or something. It was not a big dollar amount.
And then some of them, if they're non-for-profits, then they get to use it for free.
Yeah. So Chris came to us and talked once upon a time, and I don't recall if that was Parks or Waterfront Oversight that was at. And effectively said, look, we view this building as being the community's building. We want people in here. We want people to use the facility. It's a fantastic facility, and not necessarily earning a lot of money by utilizing it was not a bad thing in their mind.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, so how about if we do the fire board resolution first? That would be Resolution 365-102417, adopting the increase in the Sister Bay Liberty Grove Fire Department budget for 2018. The increase would be $5,456.
I'll make that
No,
motion.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
wrong.
the increase would
Yeah.
be.
The increase was $2,278. Sorry. Would somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. The next resolution would be 364-102-417, adopting the 2018 budget and capital improvement program and related budget policies, which will be brought back.
Yes, sir.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now that's passed. Thank you. It's always anticlimactic, right?
A little bit.
Consider a motion to convene an executive session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.851E to deliberate and negotiate the purchase of public properties, investment in public funds, or conduct other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining sessions reasons require closed session, Wisconsin statutes 19.851C, to discuss personnel and employee benefits. Motion by Lino.
Second.
Roll call. Lino, yes.
Berto, yes.
And Chris, yes?
Karanka, yes.
Baker, yes.
Duffy, yes.
We're now in closed session. We'll give anybody who needs to leave.